financial independence.
Yeah.
What is financial independence in the first place?
Well, you mentioned something about Dangote, right? I don't think his time the system were really working.
But the good choices are going to run or fly on the shoulders or the weight of enabling systems.
I agree that there are systems in place that will always stop people from achieving certain things.
Everybody has equal access to everything.
No.
Exactly.
Hold on.
So it means
Because we are only surviving because we are making the right
okay,
choices,
okay.
irrespective of
That's-
the systematic
that's
barriers.
good.
So we
Yeah.
need the
That's
systems
it.
to be made right.
See, the point is, right? The point is, it's not about you being from a rich home.
Exactly.
That means that you
that
can
is not the
actually
point. We're talking about equality.
But the point is,
Financial success hinges more on personal effort and choices rather than significant barriers and inequalities.
I'm Sylvester Stanley Nelson, a final year student at Ashesi, studying business administration.
My name is Kwame Richard Redu-Sasu, Cross for short. You can call me your boy Richie. I'm working as an assurance associate at PwC Ghana.
I'm Mehitabo Aquinas, a public relations student at the Accra Technical University.
My name is Cyrus Kojo Asante. I'm a UX designer and I'm also the founder of True Tech Studios. We build mobile apps, web apps.
I'm Ernest, level 1 resident at the University of Professional Studies, Accra.
I'm Mia Bnajim Fuamanin. I'm a student of Accra Technical University offering hospitality management.
So this is what I think. Financial independence solely is, it has more, that's the main focus. Okay, so regardless of the barriers that comes into play, even in an economy or a society, okay, so that focus is more personal than to just look at it like, okay, I don't know if there's inequality, there are barriers that are forcing me not to be independent on my own. So it's basically about what business am I doing or what work is it? I'm not really relying on employment job, so I'm able to do something that I'll be able to get money. Yes, some do it even without the system playing. They're still not encouraged to do it, and I thought it's more independent, more personal, it's more set focus on personal. I don't know what I don't know.
So I think I side with Sylvester because the reason we have people in Denmark or even Canada still being poor, regardless of the good systems they have in place, is because of their bad personal financial decisions. The reason we have someone like Dangote still making it out of an economy like the Nigerian economy is because of the personal literacy or independence the person has decided to attain. So I think it is incumbent on the individual to want to get themselves out of any financial situation they are, whether or not you are from a rich home. I think the individual should have that responsibility or should have that burden to want to attain some level of financial independence, because regardless of the good systems that are put in place, you still would have people who are lagging behind because of their bad financial decisions. Although it is very arguable that these systemic barriers cause some setbacks in the lives of these individuals, but then again, as I've proven to you, even if there are no systemic barriers, there are still people who will be lagging behind, which brings us back to the point that it depends on the individual and the choices you make that would tell whether or not in the long run you'll be able to attain some level of financial independence or not.
There are a lot of people in this country that actually they've not been educated and they are still doing well financially. So it's the desire and having a strong desire for it. What you desire in your mind actually transmute in its monetary equivalent. So it's the desire and not just the economy. A lot of obstacles can come your way, but if you have the desire to break through financial success, definitely you do it. So that's what I think.
I think there's something we are not looking at here. Okay, it's financial independence.
Yeah.
What is financial independence in the first place? So we are not talking about making it out of a business or reaching a level. We're talking about financial independence. Financial independence is a state where you don't have to, you can stop working for 6 months and still have money come inside. So that's the level we are talking about. Let's check the first 10 richest people in the world. I'm not trying to bring out race comments or whatsoever, okay?
Yeah.
But let's look at the people inside there. You realize that most of them are white, okay? And what's the issue? Of course, because there are barriers which has held, quite a number of people behind. In Ghana here, that young boy from Kwanan, I'm sure most of you have not heard about Kwanan.
Yes.
Kawano Pado. I'm sure most of you have not heard about all those things. That young guy there, at age 2, follows the mother to the farm.
Yeah.
And then the richest person in that community is probably the farmer with just 10 cows and 20 chickens or something.
Yeah.
And that is the dream. That is what the child sees as a goal.
Success.
Or exactly,
Yeah.
as success. Or that's what the child wants to get to. But if there's an equal education or equal access to education, this child will understand that irrespective of his background or whatsoever, he can reach any point in life. He can become the next Bill Gates. Maybe that child that doesn't even know there's Asia, there is an Apple laptop. He doesn't know. In such circumstances, that is why I'm saying that system barriers and inequalities plays a very key role in attaining financial independence.
Yeah.
If not, people can just make it, just as I said, have 10 cows, 2 chickens, and probably 2 wives. And to that person is okay. But that's not financial independence.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
I believe there's a lot of there are barriers to it, right? In as much as every individual you are responsible for yourself. I mean, if you don't make it in this life, there's nowhere to go and stand and explain that I couldn't make it because of nobody will listen. Like nobody cares, right? So it's dependent on you, right? You have to set your own goals and all. But there are barriers that prevent a lot of people from making it, definitely, because usually, almost in every circumstance, the average is more. Like in a classroom, for instance, you have average students being more than the very poor student and a very good student.
Yeah.
The average is almost there. So you can't have everyone smart. So smart like those smart dudes, the richest people in the world and all. You can't have everybody at the top there. Usually, the middle field has more people there. So that's where the barriers come in. If there's, for instance, like free education, for instance, basic school is free for everyone. Like, why is it so? It's so to help the other people who don't have the opportunities to also experience, have education, right? So if you say you have to make it so that you take your child to school, there are lots of people who won't be able to go to school. So there are barriers in place that suppresses people's ability to be able to make it out of financial, to make it, to become financially successful.
Yeah.
So I believe that there are barriers that needs to be believed at.
Yeah. So we have barriers. What are some of these barriers? Education, financial literacy, things that we need to be inculcated in to make sure that we are able to fight on the world level to attain more success financially. We live in Ghana, and your minimum wage, you spend almost 80% of it commuting from your workplace to your house. How much are you going to save to invest or even do any other thing that is going to accrue more money into your coffers? These are the things that we need to look at. The fact that we don't have an enabling environment to get financial assistance to even invest, even if you want to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
The kind of loan interest that we have here in Ghana, it's even repellent for anybody who wants to even enter the entrepreneurial world and make it. Because if I look at what I need to risk, the risk is too much. Yes, you have to be a risk taker as an entrepreneur, but in our world, it's insane when you look at the kind of risks that any individual, especially for a youth, to take. When you look at the fact that even in our world here, your parents are going to leave you to your own like fate if you are done with university, presuming that at this time you're supposed to be able to fend for yourself. It becomes even much more difficult for you to actually decide to save enough to even invest in something else. And that's when we come in and say that these systemic barriers are playing a key role. She mentioned something about Dangote making it, but we could have more Dangotes in our society if we have good systems in place. That is the only reason why we have the number of millionaires we have in the US. Yes, they made good choices, but the good choices only thrived and made them millionaires in the US only because they had systems that were enabling for them. So we still say that yes, you need to make good choices, but the good choices are going to run or fly on the shoulders or the wings of enabling systems and equal grounds in pursuing success in finances.
I agree with you.
I don't know if you've heard of this, that they're saying that in every challenge there is an opportunity. Right. I think you mentioned something about accessing loans if you want to start business and everything, right? You know, right now entrepreneurship is taking a form. Okay, I want to like draw on entrepreneurship because when it comes to like achieving that independence, because this time you don't want anybody to pay you. You should sit back and then make sure that you are getting that money. I don't think, as you said, Richard, if you're not working, what are the other sources of money that you can like ways of getting money? Of course, it's through your own business that you're doing, right? And entrepreneurship is taking in various forms, right? So sometimes it's not even about getting the funding, right? You could have an idea to start. Okay, you could start from there. Okay, I have the idea. Why don't I look for someone who has the money, the resources? Let's just team up. Okay, so we call something partnership. Let's just form partnership. It's not necessarily being there. So, you know, because he mentioned something about Dangote, right? I don't think his time, the system were really working. But then he saw an opportunity to do something and they make something out of it. But the system...
Sorry to cut you short.
Okay.
But on the issue of Dangote,
He came from a very
do you know the
okay, that I understand that.
No, you fine. Let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg was able to take a risk and drop out of school. You know the job, the occupation Mark Zuckerberg's parents were into. Bill Gates' father was a lawyer, was a philanthropist, a writer. The mother.
See, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. You see,
exactly.
Yes, you see, and that's the same thing.
That's why the courage to take those risks.
That is where we speak from NSI, right? So we're saying that it's not even about sometimes the background matters, but not in all cases. Right?
I agree.
You come from a rich home, so then you made it. The foundation was there laid. What about those are from those that were from poor home? They had a drive to actually see that regardless, I can also what?
So
do it on my own.
I want to give you an example, right?
Okay.
If you want to make it to financial success, give me just one example. There are lots of ways to become financially successful. So give me just one way you can become financially successful just by yourself.
Okay, so just by myself, right? Let me just give you an example. All right. So I started off by, okay, what do I want to do? Like, what do I want to do? Right? So I have this idea, I do not have money. Let me just look for funding or sources on my own, right?
So where do you look for funding from?
Yeah, so, I mean, there are
various avenues, but I want an example.
We can team up. That means I believe in partnership. Okay, I believe in partnership, right? Because achieving independency, right, solely like as an individual effort, but then individually, you as a person, as an individual person, right? Me as an individual person, right? Sometimes I can even come up with like, okay, I want to do this product. But even the process of making that product, I can outsource you to just do it for me. That doesn't mean that doesn't qualify to be the system.
Okay.
Or that doesn't qualify to be the economic system that we are talking about.
So assuming we are partnering, right?
Yes.
We are partnering, and I bring my money, you bring your money, and then we do a business. We make considerations enough, right? Good. So you start a business, right? And then dollar rate is 4 cities. Like in 2022. In January, dollar rate was 6.4. In December, it was 14.5.
Yeah.
So if in January we are starting a business hoping to make 100% profit by December, and then we are able to make 100% profit in December, and let's say we are buying the stuff from the US or Canada, so we have to take our money out of the country, buy from there, and then we double the money, and we are going to buy again, and then the cost of the product is exactly what you are holding after making 100% profit. Right, so we are saying that it's true. You can make it financially. You can become financially successful individually on your own. But once the system is not helping, for instance, in China they manufacture their own fabrics. Then they manufacture their own buttons. thread, everything. So when they make a Lacoste in China, everything can cost like 50 cedis.
My point.
When you bring it to Ghana, you can buy it for like 70 cedis.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, we don't manufacture the cloth.
Yes.
So it will be manufactured there, the thread will be manufactured there, and then when you're importing them, there'll be duties and taxes and everything.
Yeah.
So by the time you do a Lacoste in Ghana and you call it made in Ghana, it costs more than the one coming from China.
It's even sad. It's very sad.
So I think I'd like to address like one by one before I come to my main point. So first off, for your definition on what financial independence is, I think it was a bit screwed because financial independence is not necessarily having to sit back and not work for a while and still be able to provide for yourself. Financial independence has to do with you being able to be
financially sound,
sufficient. Like you can take care of yourself regardless of whatever is happening. Like you have a job, whether or not you will take breaks or not, you have a job that feeds you, that makes sure that you don't depend on any external factor solely. Wait, let me finish. So I feel like this clarity was needed.
So but
Secondly,
when the job comes down, then you come back to zero.
No, hold on. That thing happens with everyone, the government, individuals, it happens with everyone.
faces
So
it.
this is not like mutually
They're
exclusive
not
like
financially
in your
independent.
side. Hold on.
Okay,
So
continue.
yes. So my point is that with the examples I give, if you really looked at the examples I gave examples from less privileged countries and highly privileged societies. That's what I'm saying. Someone in Denmark is still poor, regardless of the system that pays them in senior high, that pays their mothers when
that's
they
what I was talking about, average.
So hold on.
So that's the average company.
When we have to take a scale on the
Yeah.
majority
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
The point is,
the majority of people you have in Africa are poor.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
of
saying
the
that
enabling systems. Do you get it?
Exactly.
I was
The only
arriving
reason
at
why
something.
Dangote is Dangote because he was born into an enabling environment, even in the space of
See,
Nigeria.
hold on.
His parents were rich.
Yeah.
So your examples
I can give
kind
you
of
examples
Let's-
of
it's good,
people.
but
See,
On them, I'll talk.
that's why
On them.
once again, you guys should have listened to my
Yes,
examples.
we have
I gave examples of people who were even born into rich families but didn't end up being rich
Yes.
because of their personal ideologies.
That's
and their
the
personal
truth.
mindset.
We don't argue with that.
Hold
But we are
on.
saying that we want more financially independent people in our
Yes.
society,
And
and it
therefore
can
those
only
who want
exist if we
I
have
am driving
enabling
towards
systems.
something.
Alright, you land.
I agree that there are systems in place that will always stop people from achieving certain things,
Yes.
whether it has to do with financial independence or career-wise or self-actualization. There are always systemic barriers that will exist. Now the responsibility is on the individual.
Exactly.
Right.
That does not
Wait,
mean
whether-
that the government is not
I want to chip in
accountable
something.
That's the
I want to
for
chip in
see.
something. Do you believe that
Hold.
in Denmark everybody has equal access to everything?
No,
Exactly.
hold on.
So it means
Every society
your point is now
not.
that despite the system is
See,
working,
Richard,
some people will not make
Richard,
it.
I can offer
There's
you
no society that is
opportunity,
100% that provides 100% equality to people.
Absolutely.
The only thing I'm saying that although the government has the social contract theory toward the people to provide for the people,
Yeah.
it is at the end of it all. It depends on the individual to attain that level of financial independence. If you read this book, read that Poor Dad, when he describes how he got the knowledge to become self-sufficient from a young age, it tells you how most of these things, even in the book, they used to talk about how government workers used to complain when they are laid off, used to complain when the government does not pay them their proper pension salaries. Then you bring it back to this guy who learned from an early stage to become financially independent. His parents were not as rich as his friends' parents, but he learned it and made it a personal responsibility to achieve that. So I'm not saying that
But
the
he
government
had
is right
access to
for
education.
having
He
those
had
systemic
access to
barriers.
education.
Hold on.
He had access to education.
That's why he didn't have access to proper education, but he still has money and he has employed people who are educated. We could go back and forth with the examples, but we just need to agree on something.
See, the point is, right? The point is, it's not about you being from a rich home.
Exactly.
That means that you
That
can
is not the
actually
point. We're
attain
talking
that.
about
But
equality.
the point is, yes,
That's
the point is
equality,
opportunity
inequalities.
and economic.
And systemic barriers.
So if there is no equality, you wouldn't want to make it.
The only reason why Ghanaians are still surviving in this situation is because we are making the right choices.
Exactly.
Imagine a world where we would have better systems.
Exactly.
Then we would have more liberated people in terms of finances. Because we are only surviving because we are making the right choices, irrespective of the systematic barriers. So we need the system to be made right.
Does the US
You get
does the
it?
US economy has a good system in place?
Yes.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Go and look at
No.
go and look at for the
Yeah,
number of
people are
the number
Your
of
cousins
number of
are
kids.
applying from
No,
Ghana
but I'm
because
saying-
they want to make it. You're telling
No,
us
I'm
what?
asking that does the US, do we believe that US has a good system?
Yes.
For
Yes.
The
everybody.
dollar
They
is
do.
paying.
No.
They
But
have
then the
good
opportunity
insurances.
there-
They have
now the
good
choice-
policies to make
Yes,
sure
now
that
the choice
you
is
make
and
it.
what-
personal,
Even when you want
right?
to
Then
engage
the
in
thing
forex,
is-
it's
okay.
far more
But do you
easier
know that-
than
do you know that-
comparing yourself to a
Okay,
forex
no
trader
problem, no problem.
in
Do
Ghana.
you know that with all this system, there are still poor people who are in the US?
Good.
We are
Do you know
telling
there
you
are
what is the
places-
number
you know
of
there are
poor
places-
people you have in the
in the
US.
country. You
Oh, you
understand?
look okay.
What
wait,
is the number
wait,
of
relax.
poor people?
You have
We
in the
want
US, that's
more
compared to Ghana.
That's-
financial this
all
one
I'm saying
than
is-
saying that
then
we
it
have
says-
one
then it
person.
says that to
One
achieve
person,
that
obviously,
independence,
one person
it
is going
solely
to define
depends
the
on you.
odds. But
Regardless
we
of the
want
opportunities
a
and opportunities
situation
that
where we
you
have more people who are defying the odds because the system is enabling that to happen.
The world you
As
are
a person.
painting is a utopia which can never exist.
It
That's
can't
Yes,
exist.
it can't exist,
It
right?
can't
But we are
exist.
talking
We have-
about the
we have
average,
the
the
US.
majority.
This Global Money Week, watch as 6 Ghanaian youth take control. They will tackle financial issues that are impacting the youth whilst sharing their experiences and sparring on different topics. Don't be left out. Protect your money. Secure your future.